Hello, my name is Mohammad Rahil, and I am working under TAPTA since 2015. And I want to discuss
Tab
about
tab.
personal finance.
Personal finance. Solid. A lot of people find that stuff stressful, honestly. Where do you want to start? Just broadly, or is there something specific weighing on your
I want
mind?
to understand personal finance, like basics of budgeting and saving.
Okay, basic, smart move. It's like building a house. Gotta have a good foundation. Budgeting at its core is just knowing where your money goes, tracking it. There are a million apps for that, but honestly, a spreadsheet or even a notebook works fine. Wait, rewind. You want to talk about personal finance as if it's 2015? Like pretend we're both back then? That's specific. Why 2015? Just curious. It'll definitely change the context since things like fintech and crypto were still pretty new back then.
What are the fundamentals
No worries if you don't
of
want to do.
personal saving that every beginner should understand before starting budgeting and saving?
All right, fundamental tools. Before you even think about budgeting, there are a few things to grasp. First, the power of compound interest. It's basically earning interest on your interest. Sounds boring, but it's huge over time. Then, understand the difference between needs and wants. Sounds obvious, but it's where most people stumble. Beyond that, you've got things like emergency months of living expenses tucked away for stuff. And finally, knowing your risk tolerance. How comfortable are you with the possibility of losing money in exchange for potentially higher returns? Those are the core concepts, I think. Does that make sense, or is there one I should unpack a bit more?
How does creating a monthly budget help someone take control of their financial life? And what are the key components of a
Okay,
strong budget?
all right. So a monthly budget, it's like a financial roadmap. It helps you take control because it forces you to be intentional with your money instead of just letting it disappear. You see exactly where it's going, so you can make choices about what actually matters to you. It's empowering, honestly. As for key components, you need to track your income, what's actually coming in. Then categorize your expenses. Fixed expenses are things like rent, mortgage, loan payments. They're pretty consistent. Variable expenses are things like groceries, entertainment, gas. They fluctuate. Then you need to allocate funds for savings and debt repayment. And finally, build in some wiggle room for unexpected expenses or just fun. A good budget isn't restrictive, it's realistic. Still
How
with
does
me?
tracking daily or
Just,
weekly expenses improve financial awareness, and what tools or methods work best for beginners?
mm, mm. Tracking expenses daily or weekly is like shining a light on your spending habits. It's one thing to know you spend too much on coffee, it's another to actually see the dollar amount adding up over a week. It makes it real. For beginners, I'd say keep it simple. Don't get bogged down in complex spreadsheets. Apps like Mint are popular, but honestly, a simple notes app on your phone or even a small notebook works great. The key is consistency, not complexity. Just jot it down as you go, categorize it later. It doesn't have to be perfect, just consistent. What feels more approachable to you? App, notebook, or something else?
What is the
All
difference
right, cool.
between needs and wants? And how can someone learn to
Okay, that's
prioritize spending effectively?
all right. Needs versus wants. It sounds simple, but it's surprisingly tricky. Needs are things you absolutely must have to survive and function: food, shelter, basic clothing, transportation to work. Wants are everything else: entertainment, eating out, that new gadget, a bigger TV. The line can be blurry, obviously. Like you need transportation, but you don't necessarily need a brand new car. To prioritize spending effectively, That's where values come in. What's truly important to you? If travel is a huge priority, maybe you're willing to cut back on eating out to save for a trip. If financial security is key, you might prioritize saving and investing over buying the latest tech. It's about making conscious choices that align with your goals. One technique is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income goes to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and debt repayment. It's a guideline, not a rigid rule, but it's a good starting point. Does that resonate? Or do you feel like it's more complicated than that?
So, what is the importance of having an emergency fund, and how much should a person aim to save in it?
Okay, emergency funds. Huge. Like seriously huge. Life throws curveballs, job loss, medical bills, car repairs. An emergency fund is your safety net. It prevents you from going into debt when those unexpected things happen. As for how much to save, the general rule is 3 to 6 months of living expenses, but that depends on your situation. If you have a stable job and good health insurance, 3 months might be enough. If your job is less secure or you have health issues, 6 months is a safer bet. It can feel overwhelming to save that much, so start small. Even $50 a month is a good start. The goal is to build a cushion that gives you peace of mind. What do you think? Does 3 to 6 months feel realistic for you, or does that seem daunting?
How can someone adjust their budget during unexpected financial challenges or increased expenses?
Okay, so life throws a wrench in the works. Happens to everyone. When that happens, you got to be flexible with your budget. First, identify the problem. What's changed? Then, look for areas where you can cut back. Wants are the easiest place to start. Dining out, entertainment, subscriptions. Can you temporarily pause any non-essential expenses? Next, see if you can increase your income. Side hustle, selling unused stuff, anything to bring in extra cash. And finally, don't be afraid to reach out for help if you need it. Sometimes talking to a financial advisor or a trusted friend can provide a fresh perspective. The key is to not panic. It's a temporary situation, and you can get through it by making smart choices. Hey, jeg vil along on. They're honest spoke, taking the strengths of the OT1. But we haven't if you did free frang. That might help us brainstorm some specific solutions.
How can beginners build a habit of saving money, even if their monthly income is limited?
Okay, building a saving habit on a tight income. It's tough, but doable. The key is to make it automatic. Set up a small automatic transfer from your checking account to a savings account every month, even if it's just $25. You won't even miss it. Another trick is the round-up method. Some banks will round up your purchases to the nearest dollar and transfer the difference to savings. It adds up. Also, challenge yourself to find small ways to save throughout the day. Bring your lunch instead of eating out. Brew your own coffee. Cancel unused subscriptions. Every little bit helps. And finally, celebrate your small wins. Reaching a saving goal, no matter how small, is something to be proud of. It reinforces the habit. What feels like the most realistic first step for you? Automatic transfer, roundup, or something else?
What budgeting mistakes should I avoid?
All right. Avoiding budgeting potholes. Good question. A big one is being too restrictive. If your budget is so tight you can't ever enjoy yourself, you're going to burn out and abandon it. Another mistake is not tracking your spending consistently. If you don't know where your money's going, you can't make informed decisions. Also, ignoring irregular expenses, things like annual insurance premiums or holiday gifts, those can throw your budget off if you're not prepared for them. And finally, not reviewing your budget regularly. Your income and expenses will change over time, so your budget needs to adapt. Aim to review it at least once a month. Does any of that jump out as something you're already doing or something you anticipate struggling with?
No, thanks for such a beautiful guidance. I'll remind it and I will be back
Whoa.
after another interesting topic to discuss with you.
Hold up. Beautiful gardens. Are you complimenting my landscaping? That's a new one. But you're very
Beautiful
welcome. Even if I don't
guidance.
have a... Uh-huh. All right. All right.
I will
I'll
be right
take
back
it.
after some time.
Glad I...
Okay, bye.
Sounds good. Still here if you need me.